Yo, what is going on? I'm excited to bring you this video. It has been a long time since I made one of these videos. But this is Gene Johnson, and it is time for my MTB Slam. All right, for those of you who are not familiar with the MTB Slam, what I do is I open up a mystery tackle box, I pull out, I'm gonna show you the baits that are in it, but then I'm gonna rig up the baits and I'm gonna try to make things happen here on the water. I'm gonna try to catch fish. Well, what's in the box? The original mystery tackle box, which is my baby, I started back in March of 2014, and it was, I pulled all the lures out of the box and I tried to catch a fish on every single lure. It got to be pretty impossible after a while. But I did the mystery MTB Slam for 4 years, loved it, always, and I know you guys loved it too. And then I lost confidence in it. The box itself started becoming a bargain bin where people threw the crack they couldn't sell. And so I left mystery tackle box, and here it is, what, 3 years later, 3.5, almost 4 years later. I'm back at it. I'm gonna open up this Pro box, and hopefully it's not a bargain bin anymore. So we will see. I'm excited because from what I've seen online, it is really greatly improved. They have Pro boxes, they have Elite boxes and stuff like that. But I'll leave the link to all that down in the description. Let's open up this box and see what's in it and see what I have to fish with today. All right, so I've already opened this up. I'm gonna be 100% with you. I needed to know what rods to have in the boat because I've been fishing really heavy stuff lately. And so just in case there were finessey stuff and that kind of stuff, I wanted to make sure I had the right rods in my kayak due to limited space. Usually I did these in my bass boat and I had plenty of rods. But anyway, so I'm pop it open. I left it pretty much packed the way it was. Opens up, you got several baits in it. But first thing I see is the 13 fishing jabberjaw, which I'm pretty excited about. And it's actually a pretty good color for this lake. So I don't know what they call this color, chartreuse shad. So this is a, dang it, I forgot what color it is normally. But anyway, they call it chartreuse shad. Really good color for stained and dingy water, that kind of stuff. Next thing is Smash It's baits. Looks like a flipping bait or a craw bait. There ain't much to flip around here, but I'll put that on Texas rig and drag it around and see what happens. But pop that out of the box too. Let me show you guys. Guess I could do that. So a little flipping bait. See that? Okay, so yeah, like I said, we're gonna Texas rig it. That one may or may not work. Like, this is very dingy water. It's actually got a algae bloom going on, but we'll see. I like blacks and pinks in the summertime. By the way, the conditions we're fishing today, we will see 92, 93 degree water unless this wind doesn't slow down. If the wind stays blowing like this, it'll stay a little bit cooler. But yeah, next one is a blooper by Guggen Baits. A black one, that ain't gonna work. They're not gonna come up to top water. They'll school a little bit in this hot water, but the first 2 or 3 feet of this water is in the 90s. And so they really don't stay up much and they don't come up at something. It's usually they're chasing bait fish and the bait fish get pushed up to the surface and then the bass grab it. So probably a popper's not gonna work. The next one is a bump cap round ball shaky head. We are definitely gonna use that today. These fish are close to the bottom and stuff like that, and so we'll see what we can do with that shaky head. Then a white swim jig, which can really work if they're in the mood to chase. And we'll rig that one up and throw some type of a trailer on the back of it. And then for the shaky head, we have the Plasma Tail by Biospawn, which I was around for the original Plasma Tail. The plastic was a little stiff on that. We'll see if they've changed that on that. That was many years ago. But it is a really good shaky head. And I think that's it. We got 2 bags of those blooper baits, or those Smash It baits craw. So I got a second bag of that. All right, we're gonna dive in. And I'm gonna rig these on a few rods. May just grab the shaky and the Texas rig. And I'm gonna rig up a few of them. And let's go make it happen. Let's go catch some fish. This lake is full of giants. And it is a public lake. But yeah, let's go have some fun. All right, to stay true to myself and true to my channel, I'm gonna do a little bit of instruction while I do this. So the first thing I'm gonna tie on is a shaky head. And I've got this on a medium spinning rod, and I don't like to use a medium light for most shaky heads unless I'm having trouble casting to like the 16th ounce, but those are a 1/4 ounce, so this one will be just fine. 20-pound test braid is a main line on a 13 fishing reel, and then a 8-pound test. This is Seaguar Gold label, but 8-pound test fluorocarbon is what I got it tied on, or got tied onto it. And my connecting knot is an FG knot. I will never do another connecting knot between braid and fluoro. The FG knot is the best. It's hard to learn to tie, but it's one of those things that if you got the patience to sit down and learn it, and once you learn it, it is amazing. All right, so the key when rigging a shaky head is that you want to make sure that it is straight as you possibly can. And plus, when I'm putting it on these type of screw locks that this thing right here has, I don't like a rounded nose like that. So I just bite that nose flat, makes it easier to put on. Push down, and I start to rotate. There you go. Twist that son of a gun on there just like that. I want to go just like that. This may be too small of a hook for that worm, but we will see. There's enough gap for the hook to come out, or the tip of the hook to come out and hook the fish. So maybe we'll see. Anyway, there's one. All right, so the next one I'm putting on the little flipping bait from Smash It Baits. Wish they would have put the name of this bait on there, but they didn't. Doesn't have any smell. Looks like it'll have decent action, decent, you know, I can bounce it around and make the craws move and that kind of stuff. But what I'm doing is I'm Texas rigging it with a straight shank hook. This is a Gamakatsu. It's actually a flipping hook, but I'm using a heavy rod with 20-pound test fluorocarbon because that's what I've got. Typically I would put it on like I'd have a lighter wire hook, like the finesse flipping hook from Gamakatsu, but a 1/2 ounce weight to a 3/8 ounce weight, and then a medium heavy rod. But this, like I said, this is a heavy 711 heavy. It's my flipping rod. I've been catching giants out here, and I've really had to set the hook hard, so I've broken off probably 3 this week on 20-pound test fluorocarbon on the hook set alone. So I've got to be a little bit more careful. I tend to set the hook a little too hard, and those big ones they pull. And I was trying to muscle one out of a brush pile, and it snapped me off yesterday, or day before yesterday. But anyway, let's go fishing. I just got those 2 tied on for right now, and we'll try the other ones out a little bit later. The jabberjaw, I don't think it's going to be too good because these fish are deep, and so getting a jabberjaw down there is going to be impossible because it's pretty. It's not a deep diving crankbait. So, all right, so my it's so hot my transducer overheated, so I had to stop and fix it, or get it cooled off. So basically what we're gonna do is I've got the shaky head, I've got the Texas rig. These fish are close to the bottom. As hot as it is, they're deeper than 5 feet. So the jabberjaw, I could probably get it to work this evening when they move up to feed, or when the upper water. Let me try that again. When the bait fish move up and they move up shallow, I might be able to get one on a jabberjaw, but we'll see. Popper's going to be out. I'd use that for night fishing, but we aren't allowed to night fish on this lake. But these 2 ought to work. They ought to work pretty good. I'm going to try the other ones, but we'll see. We'll see what happens. Now, when I first get to a lake and I'm trying to decipher, especially in the summertime, trying to figure out what depth the fish are at, I'll go out into the deeper water and I'll look at the bait fish. And that's what I'm focusing on. I'm focusing on how deep are the bait fish hanging out. And that's when a fish finder is really, really critical. It's hard to fish in the summertime when you're in a lake like this. It has no shallow cover, no grass, no anything to hold the fish shallow. You really got to get a fish finder and figure out, what depth they're at. So just had a carp pop up right there in front of me. There's one. Oh, he's a good one too. Ooh, I don't have this thing turned the right way, do I? Man, he freaking crushed that jig. Stay down. He's a good one. I love a jig bite. I'm like a dang crazy young kid at Christmas. Oh. Let's see if I can get him to come up. Oh, yes. Oh, the jig popped right out. That's why you never let tension off. Look at this fish. I'm gonna show him to you real quick. The water's so hot. I want to get him back in there as soon as I can so we can get down there. Nice little fish. Man, oh man. You can see all the pink around his face. It means he's just stressed because of the hot water. So get him in there, get him back down into that deeper, cooler water, and he'll be just fine. But yes, I caught one on the jig. Let's see if I can catch another one. All right, let's try something different. I think I'm gonna grab that jabberjaw and go crank some riprap. All right, the jabberjaw. I was privileged enough, because I'm sponsored by 13, to have this thing as a prototype, and it quickly became one of my favorite shallow water crankbaits. Absolutely. I caught a fish on like a 4-pounder on the 4th cast, or a 3-pounder on the 4th cast of ever having one. What's interesting, what's unique about it is that it's a square bill that sounds like a chatterbait. It's got a moving bill. That bill rocks back and forth. There's no rattles inside the bait. And let me get it close to the microphone. And that's the bill. And what the bill does is it rocks back and forth, and it hits those metal cheeks that are right inside the groove, and it makes that noise. And it's just a different noise, different crankbait, that kind of stuff. Right now, today, probably is not the best day to do it. Riprap's about my only choice of where the bass might be. I'd like to have more wind blowing into it, which stirs up the water, creates more oxygen, pushes the fish a little bit shallower onto those rocks and stuff like that. Because this thing only dives about 3 to 5 feet. I've got 12-pound test fluorocarbon on here, so I should be able to get about 5 foot depth. Now, a positive is at ICAST this last week, 13 announced, if I can get it out of my cup holder, that they're coming out with a deep diving of the same deal. It's a deep diving jabberjaw, and it dives 8 to 9 feet. I can get it down to 9 feet, and so I'm pretty excited about that. But that one didn't come in the box, so I'm stuck fishing the shallow one. So here we go. I'm right here along the riprap of this dam, and I'm gonna run a few passes on this one. There's several other places like this on the lake, and as I fish around today, I'm gonna try to beat the snot out of rocks. I'm gonna throw it out, reel it down to the bottom, and I'm just gonna slowly crank it along. This is a 6:3 to 1 gear ratio reel, so kind of at a steady pace. And as I bang into things, you'll see me, I'll just pause just for a split second. And just slow it down and hopefully get bit right there. A lot of times, many times, you'll get bit on that pause, or as you hit something and deflect it off of a rock or whatnot. So I'm gonna run this bank, and then if there's nothing here, I'm gonna go out to the middle of the lake to a rock pile that everybody knows about. There's a marker on it and everything else. But typically, a lot of times you can get a fish off of it, at least a little one. All right, yeah, that's gonna be a struggle. We'll see. I'll keep it out just for those situations where I'm gonna fish a little bit shallow, but I think I'm gonna be catching them on a jig today. All right, with this jig, what I'm doing is I'm just basically just casting it out onto a rock pile or onto, hard bottom, and I'm just letting it sink to the bottom. And the first thing I'm gonna do is I'm either gonna shake it or hop it. Just one of those things that I get a ton of bites that way, because a lot of times on that slow fall, I've got a big trailer that kicks really hard, so it slows the fall down. I've got a lot of skirt. I like a long living rubber skirt, and it's just a slow fall, and a lot of times it'll pass a fish, and that fish will follow it down to the bottom and just kind of be nose down on it to start with. And that little shake, that little sudden movement, oftentimes gets a reaction strike out of them, and you catch a fish. Then once it's on the bottom for a few seconds, and I've shaked, I've had it shaken a little bit, or maybe hopped it once or twice, Then I'm just gonna slowly start dragging it. That's all I'm doing, just slowly start dragging it. And every time I feel a rock, I'm gonna shake it a little bit. Hey! Hey! Can you go around the backside? So when I pulled on into this lake, there's two lakes that I'm fishing, and there's a tunnel under a road that connects the two lakes, and I pulled into this one, and that boat right there was literally zigzagging back and across the lake, going, you know, up on plane. And the sign at the gate specifically says this is a no wake lake. Of all these lakes are no wake. And then he comes around and he tries to cut right where I'm casting, and I'm like, but I guess if there weren't any stupid idiots in the world, we wouldn't have anything to talk about, or a lot, you know, we wouldn't have very much to talk about anyway. Got him. Ooh, we're gonna be playing in some fish attractors, I guess. Boy, this guy is dark. Dark, dark, dark. Like I said, the water temperature is this hot, guys. See how nice that fish is. Have your phone ready if you want to take pictures, but let them go quick so they can get back down there. You know, one of the things, I guess one of the reasons why I think the jig has been so good today is that, and judging by the bites that I've gotten in the brush piles and, you know, in structure and cover and everything else, is that it's so hot. I wouldn't say these bass are like sluggish or lethargic, but they don't want to expend a whole lot of energy to get a bait. And so if you can get the bait directly in front of them and make it look like an easy target, an easy meal, they're gonna bite. I don't know why I can't get one on. Shake your head. Just the strangest stinking thing. I mean, there's fish right here. I know there's fish. I've been bit twice on a jig. I'm like, I bet I can get one on a shaky head. No, I can't get one on a shaky head. There's another bite. There we go. This time I didn't set the hook too hard. I hope. That's a good one too. He's got a head shake like a good one. Yep. Oh my gosh. That's what I love about a jig. Wow. Come on, big boy. Come on, big boy. Come on up here. Yes! Ooh. Forgot how much fun this thing was to do. Look at this fish. Oh, look at him. Goodness gracious. Yes. Oh, that was awesome. Holy cow, that thing was 22 inches long and 6 pounds. Nice fish, absolutely nice fish. Let me spin the boat again real quick. Get my jig in so it doesn't get caught up in the motor. But, oh, I missed the MTB Slams, guys. I forgot how much fun they were. Something I'm very proud of. And it's good to get back and do a couple of them. I probably only do 2. But if you guys like these, I'll bring them back. I don't know. We'll get with Mystery Tackle Box and work something out. But I love it. Love it. Had an absolute blast. It's hot. It's 92-degree water temperature right now. The bass are not in a good mood, and yet we still caught giants. Had to drag a jig to do it, but it is what it is. If you like these, let me know. If all the links and everything will be down in the description. I'll link to some videos about some instructional videos on how to fish some of the things that we're doing right now. But give this video a thumbs up. But like I always say, be sure to introduce somebody to fishing. Introduce them to my channel. Let me help you teach them how to fish. More importantly, get out on the water. Go ahead and catch some fish and have a great day. We'll see you.